Today I'm out in Skull Valley in western Utah to try out what is a very interesting air gun, to say the least. This is the Benjamin Bulldog M257. I'm Dustin and you're watching Legacy Air Guns. Well, like I said, it's definitely an interesting air gun. It is a bullpup, as you can probably see. The action is way back here. It's a side lever. The caliber is .257, and I've got a couple of different slugs I can try. I've got these NSA, let's see, these are 65 grain hollow points. I've also got these Griffin 68 grain boat tail hollow points. I'm interested to try both. These were recommended to me by Benjamin, and then these I've seen perform pretty well in other YouTube videos. And to start things off, why don't I show you the magazine and how to load that. Here's a look at the magazine. This is the back, that's the front, so we'll be loading from this side, and it's just a rotary magazine on a spring. So I just turn it to the first opening, and I'm going to start with the Griffin boat tail slugs, and this is going to be very hard for me to do looking on a camera, but I just put one in and then rotate around. That's two. It's 5-shot magazine. There's the third one. There's 4. And there is 5. So now that is ready to go into the gun. Now, to put this magazine in the gun, the bolt here on the side has to come all the way back, and then with the front of the magazine forward, that just slides straight down and clicks into place like that. And then as soon as I push this forward, that's going to load a slug into the barrel. So I've got the gun on safe here by having this lever all the way to the back. And now that we've got it loaded up, let's go ahead and try a few shots. All right, so we're all loaded up, and I'm going to be standing shooting at a steel plate 12 inches wide from 50 yards. The scope that I've got on here is the One Leaf Commander NV400, which is a day and night vision scope, and it has a camera in it, so you'll hopefully be able to get some scope cam footage to see too. So let's go ahead and flip the safety off. Just got the tripod standing here to give me a little stability, and let's see how this Bulldog shoots. I believe that was a bullseye. The target I'm using, the bullseye is a separate piece that can flip when it gets hit, so you can see the light shine through it if you hit it. Don't think I hit the bullseye that time. And I've never been a big bullpup guy. I don't really like having that lever all the way back here, but it is what it is. I like the style of the gun though. It's kind of growing on me. Bullseye, I think. I'm not sure on that one. Oh, I think I see it. I think it's a little. That one is just under the bullseye, unless that was the different shot. Might have just cut the edge of the bullseye there. All right, that was 5. Well, why don't we go take a look at the target? Okay, well, it looks like we've got 2 right together here and another there, and then the other 2 are right here together on the bullseye. And this is that moving bullseye I was talking about, so you can always see when you hit it. And I'm not unhappy with that. I'm standing up. A tripod adds a little stability, not a whole lot. It's not attached to the gun or anything. So standing up, I think that's great. Of course, when I do my part 2 with chronograph and everything, we'll shoot from a bench rest at a range and we'll really see what the gun's capable of. But today is just an out-of-the-box, what can you do with a Bulldog type of video. And now that we've seen 50 yards, let's back up to 100 and see if I can hit that. Now let's have a look at how to fill it back up with air. The maximum fill on this gun is 3,000 PSI, and after 5 shots, it's down to 2,500, and you may be able to go more than 5 shots, but I'm not doing any chronograph testing today. We'll do that in another video, so I'm just gonna keep it to 5. there is a cover right here that reveals the Foster fitting, and I've just got my tank I'm going to connect to that. Oops, better pull the plug out of it. There we go, make sure that's on good and snug. And then I will just open up the tank and we'll fill that back to 3,000 PSI. Just like that. And of course, before I disconnect, I'll bleed the air out of the tank's hose. Then I can disconnect that hose, put this cover back on, and we're ready for more. Okay, well, I've moved my tripod setup back to 100 yards. So let's take the Bulldog off of safe and see if we can't hit that plate at 100. I might have to hold high. We'll just kind of play this by ear and adjust as I go. All right, let's see. There's the target. Let's see what we can do. I think I actually missed the plate, but I'm not sure where. I'm going to hold up near the top edge of it and see what happens. Okay, that got me on the plate, so there is some drop happening for sure. Hopefully you can hear that steel ringing. Get steady here. That's a hit. Oh, that was my fault. I think I pulled that a little to the right. We'll see on the scope cam. That's one thing about a scope cam, you don't get away with anything. Everybody knows what you did. The good news is, though, it's not the gun's fault. And that's a hit. All right. Well, at 100 yards, we're at least on target. And in part two, like I said, we'll be on a bench rest so we can really see the capabilities of the gun. Now I'm back at my 50-yard spot, and that's because before I end this first part to this review, I do want to just try a magazine of the NSA slugs. So I've got a magazine of those loaded up. Let's take it off safe again. And just for fun, we'll see how they do. I will give a much more in-depth comparison when we do part two at the range with the chronograph and all that stuff. But today, let's just have a few shots at least with them. Guess I can, don't need to be zoomed in quite so much at 50, do I? There we go. That's a hit anyway. Bullseye. Ooh, I saw that middle swing. I might have clipped the bullseye on that one too. Same. Not keeping track. What is this, maybe 4? Oh, that was all of them. Let's just take a look at the target for fun. Now this, of course, is a combination of my Griffin slugs at 100 yards and then those NSAs at 50. But a couple way down here, I'm guessing those were at 100, as there was definitely some drop as I was holding way up near here. There are some new impacts on the bullseye, including some interesting ones. Maybe I caught the edge and then skidded across it. But anyway, there you go. 50 and 100 yards with a couple different slugs. And like I said, in part two, we'll be on a range with a nice bipod. We'll have the chronograph and paper targets and really see how the slugs compare. Well, I really hope you all enjoyed this first outdoor look today at my Benjamin Bulldog M257. If you didn't see my unboxing and setup video, I would encourage you to go back and look at that. I gave a good overview of the features of the gun, and of course you saw some of them today, but I mentioned in that one it has some sling swivel studs on it, the long Picatinny rail here, and a metal Picatinny rail, thank goodness. A lot of them today seem to be plastic. This one down here, I believe, is plastic. And in the future, you know, not only will I do the part 2 to this video, but I might even do some changes to the gun. This has been a very popular model among people who like to do modifications. The main modification I would be interested in is a regulator. This is not a regulated gun. I'm not sure how many shots it can get on a fill consistently. I was only shooting 5 at a time today and then filling after every 5. And as you saw, I was filling to 3,000. It's taking me down to about 2,500 in those 5 shots. But when we do part 2, we'll have the chronograph so we can really see if we need to stop at 5 or if maybe we could squeeze another magazine in and still keep a good shot group. Up here, I've got my UTG overbore bipod, and in that part 2, I'm excited to shoot with that. Couldn't do it today because the only surface I have to shoot off today is the tonneau cover on this truck. And here in Utah, it is illegal to shoot from a vehicle, even on or about a vehicle, so we couldn't do that. I never heard a good reason for the existence of that law, but it is what it is. So we were resting on the tripod, but at the range, we'll be sure to use that. Anyway, please don't forget to click that like button down below and subscribe to the channel. There's more content to come, including content with the Bulldog M257. And if you look in the description, you'll see where to find me on social media. Thank you so much for watching.